excuse me. Give me 1 second. My face is so oily. I'm gonna put some powder on really quickly before we get into today's topic. If you want to know what powder I use to Make Me Fit Me in 310. Been using this bad boy for years. It's the only powder I really use. I don't really use anything else. If you guys know, you know. I'm just gonna powder my face real quick so we not shining. But today we're going to be talking about hyperpigmentation and what is the cause of hyperpigmentation, okay? But let me go ahead and get this skin mattified real quick so we not shining away. Being oily skinned, I'm telling you, it has its good times, but no. Okay. Hey, Adrena. Hey, Adrena. I was gonna call you Adriana. Hey, Adrena. Okay. So now that we are looking matte, somewhat matte, don't know how long that's gonna last, but let's get into what is the cause of hyperpigmentation. Okay, we need to talk about this because I get so many questions on how can I fix hyperpigmentation? What can I do to get rid of it? And we don't know the cause of hyperpigmentation. So you guys know, lately I have been talking, or my content has been more around getting to the core of what is causing certain skin issues, because I feel like that's where a lot of the miseducation is. We want to talk about how to fix something, but a lot of times we're not looking at what is the cause of it. All right. So first of all, if you are not familiar with hyperpigmentation, I'm going to talk to you about what hyperpigmentation is. I got my notes over here. So hyperpigmentation occurs when there is excessive melanin, the pigment that gives your skin color. It's overproduced. All right, it's an area where it's a lot of melanin. Do I need more coffee? Okay, it's when you have excessive amount of melanin in a certain part of your body. It can be dark spots, patches on the skin, and there are several factors, of course, that can be the cause of this. All right. So let's jump into what the cause of hyperpigmentation are. Number one is sun exposure. And we see this a lot with things like sunspots, freckles, they call them liver spots, age spots. We see where you get too much of sun exposure, you're doing too much, and you get these spots specifically on the face and the chest, okay? So too much sun exposure can do just that. It can cause you to have hyperpigmentation. Now, from what I have seen when it comes to sunspots, they're smaller. They're usually things that people really don't worry about unless you have like a lot of them. Then maybe people may be concerned about them, but usually sunspots, you don't really hear people complain too much because they're like little bitty things, you know, just a little bit right here, and you cover it with makeup, not a big deal. All right. And the reason why this happens is because the UV rays, they stimulate the melanin in the skin. Okay, so that causes them to overproduce. All right, so that is why the sun exposure causes hyperpigmentation, also known as sunspots, aging spots, liver spots. Okay, the next cause of hyperpigmentation is something called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Now, we're learning together, okay? As I've dug into the cause of hyperpigmentation and deeper into it, not just the standard, it's genetics or it just happens. Post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation was very interesting to me. So these dark spots develop after the skin is injured or there's inflammation, right? Now, we don't think of them as inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You don't think like, oh, it's something that is an injury and my skin has to reheal. Just like when it comes to a pimple, right? A pimple, then you have that pimple kind of clear up, it leaves a scar. Just like how you cut yourself and it heals up and it leaves a dark scar. That is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And now that I know that, I'm going to have to use that. Yeah, you guys are going to be sick of me. Oh, you have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So also it says the common causes are acne, eczema, burns, cuts, and harsh skin treatments. Okay, so that is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, also known as PIH. That was a new one for me because I would have never thought to use PIH. Y'all prepare to be sick of me. When I learn new things, it's a wrap. Okay. The third cause of hyperpigmentation is hormonal changes, also known as melasma. Now, when I was looking at this, I know that a lot of pregnant women get this, okay? So, melasma is often triggered by pregnancy, birth control pills, and hormone therapy. Okay. It appears as symmetrical brown or grayish patches, and they're usually on the face. All right. So, that is hormonal hyperpigmentation, also known as melasma. Okay. The next one is genetics. And I said this before about hyperpigmentation that genetics could be the cause of it. Okay. It's just depending on your uh, genetics, it can cause you to have hyperpigmentation. Okay. So some people are more prone to hyperpigmentation due to genetic factors. And I also say skin tones play a part as well. Because I always say darker skin or more melanated people may end up having more hyperpigmentation. So darker skin tones are more susceptible to PIH and melasma. So darker skin tones are more susceptible to PIH and melasma. Okay. The number 5 cause of hyperpigmentation is medication and medical conditions. I say this once again, you could be taking a medicine, you could be going through something medically that causes your skin to change. So you can be taking certain drugs, you can be doing chemotherapy, antibiotics. Um, Also, they say Addison disease and other hormonal disorders can contribute to hyperpigmentation. Okay, so when you are thinking about hyperpigmentation, my neighbors, or when you are dealing with hyperpigmentation, it's very important to look at all factors of what it could be causing it. Okay, and the number 6 cause of hyperpigmentation is skin irritation and over exfoliation. Okay. I will say something about waxing. So when I have a client and the wax is a little bit too warm in certain areas of the body, especially the bikini, what I notice is that a dark spot can appear like on their lip area if it's too warm. So that makes sense when you're talking about skin irritation. And they'll be like, oh, there's a little dark spot. And I'm like, yeah, that's because a little bit too warm on the wax in certain areas, especially lip area. Okay, you gotta be. So using harsh skincare products, excessive exfoliation, chemical burns can also lead to hyperpigmentation. You guys have to understand those chemical peels are amazing and they have very great benefits for the skin and other skin treatments, right? But you have to be mindful when you are using these. If you do not use them correctly, you end up doing more damage than good. And that is where you produce things like hyperpigmentation. All right. Now, just to get into a few of like the standard questions when it comes to hyperpigmentation, not just from you guys, but also from my clients, they always say, well, how can I fade hyperpigmentation? And I'm very realistic. So I say, or this is the deal. I think I need more coffee because your girl obviously is still not awake and it is 3:42 in the afternoon. Okay. But this is what I say. I always say you got to be patient with the skin. It takes time, and hyperpigmentation may not always go away. You may lighten it, but you still may see it. You get what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like I wouldn't bet that it's going to 100% go away, but there are things you can do to fade it. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Vitamin C, I always tell people that is the best. Vitamin C, you have to use it consistently. You have to be patient, right? Making sure you are exfoliating, which is going to remove that top layer of skin, which is going to what in return? Fade. fade the hyperpigmentation. Also, if you want a faster result, chemical. Okay, that's where chemical pills come into play. That is where more like chemicals come into play. Okay, chemical pills specifically. If used the right way, you can see drastic results when it comes to your hyperpigmentation. All right, and then doing things that are not causing your hyperpigmentation to increase. So, for example, the razor and your underarms and your bikini lines do not mix. Okay, that doesn't go for everybody because I had some clients where they're able to shave and their skin's just fine. But most people, those razors, you are every day in your underarm and the bikini area, and you wonder why you're having dark areas. It's because you're constantly rubbing something that is cutting the hairs, and then you're getting ingrowns and they're turning into scars, and then it's a vicious cycle. Okay, so you have to realize either get into the laser world or get into the waxing world. Okay, so you have to understand that if something is not working or something is irritating your skin, you have to make that conscious like decision to stop doing it. All right, stop doing it. Okay, so when it comes to hyperpigmentation, it is important to know what is the cause of your hyperpigmentation, where did it come from. Okay, did you have a really bad breakout? You know what I'm saying? Did you cut yourself and have PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation? Some of y'all, since I discovered that word, you guys prepare to be sick of me. Okay, but you have to realize where did it come from, and then from there, what are my treatment options? What can I do for that? And the internet is free, y'all. The internet is free. They also have laser, I heard, that removes scarring. So there are so many different ways for you to deal with hyperpigmentation, but I just want to be realistic and say it may not 100% go away. You may still see a little bit, but you can fade it out. You can fade it out. Okay. Did you guys have any questions for me when it comes to hyperpigmentation? What it is, anything that you guys want to know? I am a waxer. I remove hair. That's my profession. If you have any questions about that, anything about skin in general, let's open the floor. Let's talk about it. But hyperpigmentation is a very important topic to talk about. I get a lot of questions about it from clients and from you guys. And I know my clients, they don't like to see it. You know, they don't like to see it. And then they're always like, well, what can I do? You know, and there's another thing that I really want to talk about as well when it comes to hyperpigmentation, especially when it comes to my darker skin tone. People out there are those who are just more melanated than others. It is completely natural to be more melanated in certain parts of your body. Okay. I think a lot of times we see other people and what they have, and we think that that's how our skin should be. And everybody is different. Okay. If your skin just happens to be a little bit darker, but it's healthy and you're good, there's no need to try to use bleach or any of those things to just because you can do more damage than harm. You know, you can do more damage than good. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's natural for certain crevices of the body to be darker. Um, Yeah, that's one thing that I really want to say because that's something else that I also see a lot with clients, and they're like, "Oh, my bikini line is so dark," and and it's really not. Like I look at the bikini line, I'm like, it's just you have slighter darker pigmentation because you are a melanated person. It happens, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like excessively 5 shades darker than what your overall body is. You know what I mean? Like nothing like that, you know. I do have one client who has real, like, when I tell you her inner thigh is a lot darker than the rest of her leg. And once again, like I said, that's just naturally like how her skin is right there. You know what I'm saying? So, and hers is pretty drastic. Hers is pretty like my hair to possibly my skin tone. You know what I'm saying? But her skin looks good. Like she doesn't have any issues, but it's just in the folds of her body on both sides. The skin is just slightly different. And I always say, like, don't wear things that are tight. Don't wear things that can cause, like, if you're doing anything that causes tightness or rubbing, throw it in the trash, loosen up those clothes, okay? You know? All right. So if you guys don't have any questions, then that is going to be the end of today's live. I just really wanted to come on and talk about hyperpigmentation and what it is, because it's very important that we know what is the cause behind these skin conditions and these skin concerns. Okay, I know everybody wants to get to the core of or get to the core of how to fix it. But how are you going to fix a skincare issue if you are not knowledgeable and you don't know what the cause is? Okay, and we can Google everything in the world here. I get that as well, but that's why you got me. Okay, I am someone who's been in the industry. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I have been waxing for about 7 to 8 years. So me and skin are best friends. Okay, I know skin. I can look at your skin just by looking at it and tell you what you are and are not doing. I can look at your skin and just know. Okay, so I'm not someone who is just talking about this. I walk it, I live it, I breathe it. I went through my own acne journey, figured out what worked for me, figured out what didn't work for me, and I shared it here with you guys on this channel. What, it's been like 12 years now since I had this channel, and ever since then, your girl has been immersed in it. So this is why I say, when you guys have any questions for me, or if you guys have anything you want to ask, you can always hit me up. Okay. I'm thinking about doing something where I can do like a chat, where I can open up a skincare question chat, where I'm like your personal like esthetician or something. I want to get something going where you can just hit me up. Hey, Eunice, like, I put this cream on my skin and now my skin is turning purple. What do you think? That's actually a true story. I had a client some time ago who put on numbing cream before she came in to get a Brazilian. Mm. And the heat from the wax did something really weird with her skin, and her skin was turning purple. So I looked at her and I said, "What did you use?" "Oh, I use numbing cream." Why are you using something? Because the thing about it is this: when you have a numbing cream and heat and you combine them bad boys, I don't know what that heat is doing to whatever chemical is in that numbing cream. And that can cause other issues. I don't know if it's overcooking your skin. I don't know if I'm gonna put down a strip, peel it up, and all your skin gonna be on my strip. So I told her, don't ever use numbing cream again. Don't do it. And I feel like no one should use numbing cream before they go in for a wax, because you don't know how the temperature of the wax is going to work with um, the skin. Okay. All right, you guys. You guys are so quiet today, but it's okay. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who have come in and who have watched me and who have participated in the live and talked to me and everything like that. That is what your girl is here for. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And hopefully those of you guys who need the knowledge and take something from it has learned something about hyperpigmentation. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.